I spoke with a therapist and I was talking to him about early childhood experiences that I had. And he basically said, I don't want to talk about any of those. I want to give you tools to deal with the emotions you're feeling today.
Sure.
And I felt frustrated by this because I was like, my suspicion is that the reason I feel these things is because of these initial experiences I had in my childhood through, family or whatever else. And I'm just now manifesting them in my adult life. And if I just dealt with it in this first instance, I could probably deal with it better. I'm curious if you've heard of these different therapy tactics.
Absolutely. So I think talking about your past, I'm going to oversimplify, but that's what we call kind of the psychodynamic model, where it's sort of about dormant stuff. But then more recently, what we've had is something called a cognitive behavioral model, which is like, we're just going to alter your behavior and we're going to deal with the present. And if we really look at like what's causing problems in your life, it's not the hurt that happened before. It is the way that the hurt that happened before shows up today and affects your life. Mm-hmm. Right. So even if Akash's, his dad was mean to him or abusive or whatever, that's manifesting in the present in a particular way. And we can deal with that manifestation in the present and his problems will be solved. It is the manifestation of that hurt that really screws up your life now. Mm. But so this is kind of like saying, I guess what I could say is like, if I have a well that is ejecting feces, I can clean up the feces every time it comes out. Mm-hmm. Or I can go down and empty out the well. Right? But both of them will end up with a clean surface. Mm-hmm. So in the cognitive behavioral model, I think, so some people just like that model more. That's just where their mind naturally goes. And I don't know if y'all caught that, but we sort of included both with some scar digestion. Right? So you can regulate the emotion directly in the moment with breathing practices, and then the ahamkar will deactivate, the buddhi will deactivate. We're not actually solving the samskar, we're intervening at the level of the manas.
Or you
go back. And what I tend to find works really well is both.
Right.
That's what I would think.
Yeah. So I mean, when I work with people, I do both. And I think also from like a yogic standpoint, they don't give a shit about what happened to you in the past. They just focus on the present. They're like, just understand what is happening. And the beautiful thing is that works like incredibly well. Even if you just understand this process and you observe it, that will take the emotional bite out of it. So I don't know if y'all get this, but when your samskar activates, you activate like a program. Y'all kind of get that? Like you lose control.
I do. I absolutely do.
There's like, oh, like now they're thinking, like you think like they're judging me and like I feel this way and now I'm going to do this. Like people start operating in a really repetitive way. And if you're in a relationship and like you trigger your partner, you're like, oh shit, they're doing this shit again. Mm-hmm. And you can predict it. It's like, first they're going to do this, then they're going to do this, then they're going to do this. And until they calm down, like there's nothing that we can do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you can stop in that pattern. A big part of that pattern is a lack of awareness that it's happening. So if you go to your partner and you say, hey, you're doing this shit again. They're like, no, I'm not. You're doing this. Yeah. They have no insight into it. So insight, anytime you have awareness of what goes on within you, you automatically control it. You guys want to test that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Observe your breathing, but don't change it. Go.
Impossible. I can't.
You tried for like 3 seconds. Try for a little bit longer. Can you observe your breathing without changing it?
I think so, but I don't know how I was breathing before I started observing it. So I don't know necessarily.
Are you controlling it if you're observing it right now?
Yes.
Can you stop controlling it and observe it?
You can stop breathing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stopping breathing is controlling it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't.
This is incredibly hard for me when I focus on my breathing. Like if I'm trying to meditate, I've noticed I feel like I'm breathing. Like now I'm in control of how I'm breathing. And that's weird. I'm not just observing the breathing.
Yep. Right. So this is really cool. You guys have heard of this thing called enlightenment? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The person who can observe their breath without controlling it will become enlightened. Really simple.
Oh. Okay, right? So that makes me feel better because it's actually incredibly hard to do, is what I think you're saying. Because I used to be like, what the fuck? Why am I so in my head that I can't even just watch myself breathe? I have to, now I'm changing it every time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this is the beautiful thing. You cannot observe without changing. right? So even in physics, which I'm hesitant to draw correlations from, there's like this idea of the observer effect where we can't measure something without altering it in some way. So the beautiful thing is that even in your own life, if you have patterns, the moment you start observing them, they'll start to dissipate. They'll start to like sublimate and become weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. So this is something that in the West, we really don't understand. Awareness is enough. You don't actually need to do anything. You just need to observe, and observe properly. That's a technique that's pretty hard. But as you observe what happens, as you become like, think about any problem that you've had in your life. Once you really understood what was going on, it becomes way easier to handle.
So even just acknowledging, oh, I'm in this recursive anger program.
Just watch it. Take a step back and watch. Okay, I'm feeling anger. There's the ego thought, right? And we've done it a little bit today. Like y'all, I'll ask y'all to, what is Akash feeling right now? Where does this come from? And y'all are like hypothesizing. So if you do that process for yourself, and this is important because this isn't like analyzing. A lot of people, this is the big mistake that a lot of people make. People will analyze their problems, but observation and analysis is different. Biggest mistake that people make. They say, oh, I'm aware of my problem. No, you're not. You're analyzing. You're not watching them in real time. You are thinking about them retrospectively. You are analyzing them. Just watch it.
And not to detour completely, but I find that this is a benefit of psychedelics. And that I've spoken to people that have done like ketamine therapy or even prescribed ketamine therapy. Like there's psychologists that do ketamine therapy. Yeah. And basically because it's a disassociative, it will strip the behavior and the emotion or the thing that was done to you in the emotion. You're able to see the thing as a third party. And you can kind of see things objectively and as a result of that, be able to draw new conclusions.
I think he wanted our attention.
Oh, no, you can stay on that topic.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah.
So psychedelics, I think, are really great because they give us a scientific insight into things that meditation have been doing for thousands of years. So the hard thing about understanding how meditation affects your brain is that the majority of studies on meditation, in order to be, to be non-biased, we take a bunch of random people, we teach them a meditation technique, and then we measure the results. So one of the exclusion criteria for most of the studies on meditation involve not knowing how to meditate. So what we're basically doing is we're training up a bunch of amateurs. So the hard thing is that you have some of these people who have been meditating for a very long time and successfully too. There's a big difference between just doing it a lot and doing it successfully.
Yeah.
And those people we don't know how to study. So I saw this great like TikTok of this like yogi in the Himalayas who's just like running around like basically he's got a loincloth on. But there's a lot of stuff that people do. So there's one study that was done by the Benson Henry Institute, I think many years ago, that showed that you can, through yogic practices, you can alter your body temperature by 9 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Right? So there's all kinds of weird stuff. Like there are people in the Himalayas
like 20 plus degrees Fahrenheit, right?
9/5 plus 32. But I think the alteration is, you'd have to do both conversions.
Okay.
Right? But, so yeah, about 20 degrees. There's a lot of weird stuff in yoga, but we don't know scientifically like how to study that. So the biggest, at the top of the list is like altered states of consciousness. So the cool thing about psychedelics is that people will really like them. And why? Because they give people dissociative experiences. So let's think about this. In our Vedic model of the mind, which is what I taught y'all, a lot of our problems come from which of those 5 things, chitta, samskar, ahamkar, buddhi, and manas, which one do you think causes us the most problems in life?
Samskar.
That's what one would think.
Or ahamkar.
It's ahamkar. So our samskar, for a particular problem, it's samskar. But when your ahamkar is out of control, every dimension of your life will be a mess.
That's your ego again.
Ego.